Hey guys, sorry here bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Angoville, playing a few days sporting in the south. We have Guard2707 as OKW, and his loadout is Elite Armor, Special Operations, and Breakthrough. Facing off against him in the north, we have Johan as the Soviets, who has Guard Motor, Shock Rifle Frontline, and Soviet Reserve Army. Guard2707 about rank 50 as OKW, and Johan about rank 80 as Soviets. So we should be in for a pretty evenly matched game. See Guard2707 going for squad of Fox Screeners first before the Kubel. Kubel is pretty much essential on this map. This is like one of the maps where I would not debate ever going for a Kubelwagen. It is very important, very large map. Kubelwagen performs well on quite both sides. Very useful in capturing those munitions, which can take a long time to run to the actual squads, and just very strong overall. Doesn't have too many pathing obstacles on this left hand side. But yeah, went for squad of Fox Units first. Looks like he wanted to get some sandbags down, get a few established positions. A couple of engineers find themselves in a bad spot there. Got quite a lot of wire down on this cutoff though. Should help him if he ever wants to push out. And he actually went for a squad of conscripts first, put down some sandbags here. That's actually a really nice play. Quite often you find your opponent in this house right outside your cutoff with not much you can do about it unless you got indirect fire or flamethrower. And this way you can run to this cover, not take much damage, and then slug it out against that building very efficiently. So it's actually a pretty nice play. And some good use of sandbags. Guard2707 trying to scrap it out here. But kind of got unlucky with his model drops, dropping 2 models straight away instead of taking health damage across more of them. So he has to back out of that. I mean, it's usually a bad idea to try fight those fights, but I think that could have worked. That could have worked if he got lucky. See 2 squads of penals being deployed before the M3. Most Soviets do go for the M3 after the first squad of penals, especially if you're facing OKW. When they have the Kubel out, you know, you want a good chunk of time to try and chase down that Kubel and kill it. Also, you want a good chunk of time before OKW players get their tech structure down and their Panzerfaust out. So getting that Kuba out, getting that N3 out earlier is quite important to maximize its effectiveness. Wire on this door means, of course, you can't exit through this door or enter. So you have to go around this way every time. So it's a good way of Guard2707 trying to block some of the use of the garrison on his cutoff there. I imagine that is, yeah, flamethrower just finishing now. So this is probably going to gain Johan a bit of map control, forcing quite a few retreats here. And late retreat there on that one from Guard2707. But I mean, he's very close to his base. Doesn't want to chase with their M3, risk taking a lot of damage from those flak emplacements. We do see Guard2707 very quick on his tech. Time this well. So he's going to have access to the Fausts right now. This means Johan really needs to start playing it a little more cautiously. with his M3 and will risk taking a Faust and losing this. And that's exactly what he's going to do. It's a really bad idea to drive it around this way as well. Steam Pioneers do a lot of damage to the M3. Oh no, and he loses his flamethrower as well. That is horrible. That is really bad. Just needs to retreat this squad as well. A bit later on the retreat. Okay, there he goes. But yeah, that was really bad. Should have played a lot more conservatively. Once you see, you know, you hit around the 5-minute mark, it's starting to start playing a bit more conservatively with your M3 against OKW. Because they could have teched. But just in general, I mean, it's not a very good idea to run like past 3 squads. I mean, there's a squad of folks here, squad of folks here, Steam Pioneers here. Steam Pioneers do a lot of damage, especially to the rear armor of the M3. So that was just overall a very poor play by Johan. And it cost him a lot, losing both his M3 and his combat engineers. And he needs those combat engineers, obviously, to tech, but also just in general on Angoville. There are quite a lot of important garrisons on this side of the map, and he needs that flamethrower to deal with them. Especially because he's gone tier 1, doesn't have access to a mortar. Unless he picks a Guard motor, maybe goes for that 120mm. Guard motor is pretty good on this map. Guard LMGs do work quite well on Angoville. It's a fresh squad of flamethrowers now. Oh man, this is a late retreat. Oh my god, how is that squad still alive? Oh man, that is so insanely lucky for Guard2707. Not sure what he's trying to achieve with this squad. Maybe he's buying time for his MG to set up. But this could be bad. Satchel coming in. Oh! Oh man, it got cancelled. That was so lucky. Got pinned just as they were in the last split second of the animation. That could have gone horribly wrong. Guard2707 getting a couple lucky escapes there. Oh, but not so lucky on this Kubel, looks like. Well, that is a big pickup for Johan. Really should have been able to kill that Kubel with his M3 earlier, but taking it down at this stage is also good. Should allow him a lot more control over the left.
We need to re-establish our supply lines.
Conscripts hold up on those sandbags. Just trying to hold on to that fuel, but I imagine they'll be forced off pretty soon. Guard2707 going for another machine gun. And Johan could struggle against that machine gun. Two MG34s, that's quite a lot of suppression, quite hard to outmaneuver. And he's bringing them up in support really nicely here. Bit of a late reaction there as well. Flushes that MG out. So he's trying to scrap it out here whilst suppressed. Generally not a very good idea. Probably cost himself 2 models there for the trouble. Well, we do see tech from Johan and he's going for the T70. think this is important. He kind of needs the T-70 because
Engineers ready for a
Guard2707's got those 2 machine guns.
70 light
So if he's just running around with infantry, he's probably going to run into those machine guns quite often and be forced to retreat as a result of that. So I think going for the T-70 in this case is a good play.
The sector is secure. I have the men ready. Keep your head down.
Oh, pushing to these sandbags can be tough, but he's got the combat engineers there. Got to get them in range with that flamethrower though. He's taking a lot of damage here. Come on, man, just right click on them. There we go. Now he tries to leave cover with his squad. But they're still getting roasted. T-70 forcing a retreat on that machine gun over there as well, so it's exactly what Johan needed. Because as you can see here, there's another MG34 on this side suppressing him, making it very hard for him to control this fuel. Imagine if there was that machine gun over here. Johan could quite easily be without fuel at this point in the game if he didn't go for that T-70. I know it's received a lot of nerfs, but this particular instance where he's up against 2 machine guns, he doesn't have a sniper, doesn't have a mortar. I think this is probably the right way to go. And in response to that, we see Guard2707 going for 2 Raketen, so that's a big investment for him. He's also had a lot of fuel control, just about ready to take to tier 4. Well, he is ready to take to tier 4. This Raketen gets forced away, runs into the conscripts, but they are no match for all those STGs. Now, we do see Johan's gone for the combat engineers with the sweeper, so that's very good for him. Doesn't want to run over any mines. It could easily be the death of his T-70. But interesting to see that Guard2707 hasn't gone for sweepers himself. If this was against a player like Loveness, for instance, there would definitely be 1 demo charge down by now. Demo charge is so important. Oh my god, why did he try and cut the wire in front of the stern pioneers? Such a horrible idea. So you're going to lose the squad as well. Oh my god.
Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
What is he doing? What is he doing? That is terrible. That is some terrible, terrible play. Satchel deployed there, easily dodged though. Just see when he takes a second Raketen hit, just getting out. Looks like there was another satchel thrown over here. Because all those sandbags are destroyed. So Johan, the losses for him really stacking up 3 combat engineers and an M3 to Guard2707, only having lost his Kubel. That is really bad for Johan.
We have secured.
Luckily Guard2707 very late on his tech. And has invested in those 2 Raketen, so his overall army size is not that big. Imagine if he'd just gone for like 1 Raketen, put down his tech, got out squad of Obers. I think he'd be in a very commanding position right now. But then again, maybe he'd have trouble with the T-70 without the 2 Raketens. Looks like he's going to go for another satchel here, doesn't it? No? That was what I was talking about. Very hard to outmaneuver those MG34s now. It's costing quite a lot of territory. And now that these Volksgrenadiers do have their STGs, Penals don't have such a huge advantage over them anymore. And once they get to Vet 5 with the STGs, the advantage is very minimal for the Penals of Vet 3. So he's going to take a Panzerfaust here. No Raketens nearby, they're both on the other side. The debate, you know, sometimes when to use two Raketens as a unit to try kill a unit, or whether to split them up, try use them individually just to keep your opponent's vehicles at bay. And I think this is a situation where splitting them up was probably better. Two Raketens do work really well if you can force your opponent to rotate in a direction that you expect and ambush them with them, which could be the case here. I mean, if he sets them up facing this alleyway here, there's a good chance the T-70 is going to come through there. You can see his Raketens quite far back at this stage. Probably needs to creep them up a little bit further. Looks like maybe he's trying to use this squad as bait, but he's risking losing it here. Late retreat, taking a lot of damage to the T-70, and there it goes, down it goes. T-70 could go down. No, Raketen misses. That is so unlucky for Guard2707. Left that squad out there as bait, and Raketen misses a fairly easy shot. T-70 escapes, and he actually rebuilds that squad. Oh, fortunately he does. I'm very surprised he's not, well, I mean, once again he's very late on his tech. Looks like he's just going to go straight for the Command Panther. Oh no, another flamethrower squad down. Johan just really doesn't pay attention to his comm engineers. Does have his tech going down. He's gone for another squad of combat engineers. But yeah, I'm kind of sad that we don't see some obers very strong on this map. And it's good to try to get them early so you can start beating them up early, and once they hit Vet 2, there's nothing the Soviets can do about it, really, unless they got the Dishka. Because the GPS at Vet 2 is just insane. That's when they gain their 40% accuracy bonus. So Command Panther on the field, being upgraded with the machine gun. Just before Johan gets out his first T-34-85, he's selected doctrine. Now it's going to be guard motor. T-70 Vet 2. It's quite effective to use the recon mode at this stage. So hopefully we see a bit of recon mode, especially on this left hand side. It's great, not many line of sight blockers. Give you a big advantage. Wow, they got pinned so quickly. Point blank suppression and an effect right there. He was trying to threaten the sticky satchel, but they're bleeding quite a lot of manpower here.
We are losing territory.
Here is the T-34-85.
The sector is at risk.
Honestly, I'm not sure if I would have gone for the T-34-85 if I was Johan. Because it seems like he's got quite a lot of manpower right now.
The team has arrived.
Okay, let's go for more instead. I was going to say, it seems like he's got a lot of manpower right now and not that much fuel. I mean, he probably could have got 2 T-34-76s, but if he's going for the mortar team, that's a more conservative way to play.
Our territory
Wants to be able to deal with those team weapons. Going for 2 T-34-76s is a bit more of an all or nothing, relies on you doing like big, deep flanks, causing a lot of damage with them. And could be very hard to execute because he doesn't have any guards for the button. He doesn't have. He needs a tank gun, and yeah, it could be very risky if I'm trying to use 2 T-34-76s aggressively without any support. Well, without adequate support. So the heavy mortar starting to go to work. How did he see them right there? It must be from the... Yeah, it must be from the garrison. I swear going down here, but that is a bit risky. Personally, I might have thought about using the... yeah, he has to cancel it. I was going to say, I would think about trying to crush this with my command panther and put a flak base maybe back here. More defensive position, just covering the VP. Because in that old position, that was almost certainly going to be killed. Well, everyone's just sitting and waiting here. Surprised Guard2707 did try to rebuild his tech structure. Looks like Johan. Oh no! Squad down to the heavy mortar. Oh, that is a big blow. But you gotta be careful when you're this close to a heavy mortar. The scat's not gonna be that large. And it looks like he's clumped on that light cover as well. But that is some horrible bad luck for Guard2707 losing his squad like that. He's already rebuilding another one, but what Johan kind of probably needs is a SU-85 now. Using the focus sight on the T-70 in conjunction with the, or not, recon mode rather, in conjunction with the SU-85, so the SU-85 doesn't have to use focus sight. Should make it very strong at pushing away the Panther. Oh no! Heavy mortar just wipes another squad! Looks like it was his Stern Pioneers. Command Panther getting aggressive here. He's had enough. Wow, T-70 penetrating 2 shots in a row. Now I could get sticky satchel on his... No, not quite. And doesn't have anti-tank grenades either. Looks like he's gonna go for another T-34-85 though. Just have a feeling. He's got a lot of resources saved. But Guard2707's got 2 VPs under his control. And he's getting his next tech truck out once again. He has crushed a little bit of this wall, so maybe he could go for the tech structure placement I was talking about. Oh no, he just lost. Oh, the heavy mortar is single-handedly getting Johan back in this game. UG-34 destroyed by it and now stolen. That is bad luck for Guard2707. And he is going for another T-34-85. I knew it. It's a bit of a shame because this is one of the maps where the SU-85 really shines. Especially if he, you know, gets a couple of mines down like he has on his flanks. If he gets the advantage, you know, gets his SU-85 out early, gets it to Vet 2 before a Jagdpanzer 4 arrives, he'd be in a really nice position. But Guard2707 in fact not going for that, he's going for a walking Stuka. I'm always hesitant about somebody going for a walking Stuka in 1v1s. Just, you know, there's not as many targets to fire on, so your barrages are a bit slower. Which means it takes you a lot more, you know, less effective, or less likely to hit things. Means it takes you a lot longer to vet it up. And we all know you need to get to Vet 2 on that walking Stuka to get the most out of it. So often you can't get that to happen in a 1v1 game. And it occupies, you know, 14 supply. It's a good chunk of change. Good chunk of your army size. And often that it's just a bit too much. Whereas, you know, dividing that up between 2 armies is very manageable. Got some flares coming in. Suggests he wants to target perhaps the heavy mortar team with his walking Stuka. No. Looks like he's going to target this machine gun. Late reaction. Gets out. Oh, just in the nick of time, and that squad survives with 1 man. Lucky break there for Johan, but that was a very good opening shot. Gets him halfway to Vet 1 already. 10 kills. That's a good start for the walking Stuka. That's exactly the kind of start you need. That first barrage is crucial. So after that, your opponent's a bit more aware. Usually reacts a bit more quickly.
All gun batteries reporting. Reconnaissance by flare now available.
Guard2707 kind of needs his stern pioneers back though. Looks like he's going to go for the repair men on his mechanized truck, but you know, if he runs over a mine with that command panther, the game is probably over. Unless his Raketans are in the perfect positioning when that happens, but his Raketan positioning this game so far hasn't been that impressive, if I'm honest. There was only that one time when he left that squad out there as bait for so long. The Raketans were actually in a good position. Now he finally hits Vet 1 with one of his Raketans, well both his Raketans. So now they can move around That high speed and the camouflage, that makes a huge difference. He's used the prioritized vehicles, or what is it called? I always forget it. Coordinated fire, that's the one. Oh god, the heavy mortar continues to rain death. Oh my... It looks like he lost a squad on the left hand side. No, he lost his Rakin. Oh no. And now it's going to be destroyed. Guard2707, look, was in a very commanding position, but putting down this tier 4 tech in a questionable position, now going for the walking Stuka. He is in a lot of trouble, and all those heavy mortar team wipes. Oh no! Oh my god. That was the hammer blow right there. 2 combat engineer squads down, as well as a heavy amount of damage on vehicles, which we know gives a lot of veterancy to units. He gained basically a whole veterancy level of 1 barrage. That is so nasty. Well, I was doubting the walking Stuka's ability, but Guard2707 proved me wrong, and Johan really sloppy on that dodge. Should have expected that.
Combat engineers are standing by. Vehicles can be marked and targeted.
Filtration grenades coming out there. That's one thing I didn't really mention, but I think if you're going to select special operations, you should pick it earlier, because those infiltration grenades do make a big difference in the early game. Being able to spam them out, help you win engagements, help you gain a bit more map control. Very important in the to try and level the playing field between your Volksgrenadiers and the Penals. Clearly, I mean, that was what Guard2707 was going to go for, because he had every opportunity to take tier 4. He had a lot of fuel. I mean, at the stage when he got his command panther, he just about could have ticked tier 4 and got a regular panther. So clearly going for his commander was going to be his strategy. So probably should have, you know, selected it earlier, got those infiltration grenades going. But now we see Johan, 91 supply. His army is looking very strong. Guard2707 losing so many Volksgrenadiers, losing his MG34 and Raketen. He is in a whole world of trouble. He can't send out one alone T-34-85 to try and fight a command panther. Unless you've got a flank on it immediately, it's just not going to work out. Oh, here comes a walking Stuka barrage. Probably going to be around here. No, over here. Oh, wow! Wipes the combat engineers. Almost wipes the Penals. Looks like he wants to chase them down, get the wipe. Double T-34-85s really having trouble penetrating the Panther's frontal armor there. And for good reason, I think their mid-range penetration is 130 against the Panthers. What is it, 320 armor? I think it's 320. Oh, now it's Vet 2. So now it's more than that. So it's like basically like a 1 in 3 chance to penetrate almost. So it's unsurprising, or maybe even more if that was actually at far range, some of those shots. So yeah, it's not a good chance to penetrate the Panther, let's just put it that way, even with the 85mm gun. It's not that strong frontally against the Panther. He's going for a Katyusha now. Still kind of needs the 2 commies though to keep his armoured force up to strength, and probably needs a few more mines down now that he's gone for the Katyusha, otherwise that Command Panther could just run in and snipe it quite easily. Pretty close range Katyusha barrage here. It's 4 models, 3 models, not a bad start. And now we've got a Minesweeper for Guard2707, but as I was saying, if this was against a player like Lovenest, he probably would have already lost 2 squads to demo charges. And Johan, instead, he's planting a lot of mines. But in those situations where you know infantry is most likely to run over them, better to go for the demo charge. Leave the mines for Miro. Like this position here, good for where vehicles are going to be running over. And maybe a squad will run over it, but that's not the main objective. So Guard2707 using those artillery flares to try spot targets for the walking Stuka. If there's one commander that you're going to use the walking Stuka on, it has to be special operations, because those flares are so strong at spotting targets for the walking Stuka. The best recon in the game easily. Can't be shot down. Cheaper than a recon plane as well. Lasts seemingly just as long and on a similar area. Looks like a bit more of the focus shifting to the VPs for both players now. Johan, you know, he's got a pretty sizable army, so he doesn't really need much more fuel. And Guard2707 floating just an enormous amount of fuel. But he is making his next tech structure. Remember, you can't... Oh, he's going to try to put in the same spot. That's very greedy, especially with the incoming SU-85. Very good at quickly knocking down OKW tech trucks. Oh no, Katyusha gets a nice wipe on the Raketen. Good bait there by Johan with his T-3485. Come on, Panther, busy trying to knock out this penal squad at long range, but it's taking him forever. Stuka Vet 2 though, that's where it's got both its reload bonuses. Very quick cooldown on it now. Alright, hit. A few of those rockets blocked by the building. And these T-3485s are in here doing quite a lot of damage. Command Panther needs to rotate now. But that is taking damage from the SU-85 itself. Guard2707 in a huge amount of trouble here. T-3485 is right on his doorstep. I always pucker when I see this kind of action. So OKW base so treacherous with those flak emplacements. Only base defenses that will actually do damage to medium armor. And Johan having trouble microing all his vehicles at once here. clumsy maneuvers here, and it looks like he's perhaps going to lose his T-70, which is a bit of a shame. As I was saying, works so well when it's teamed up with the SU-85. And what has he got to show for it? I mean, he's bled quite a lot of manpower, but all he's really done is decrease the MG-34. He's about to lose this. I think one more shot and that's going to go down. Oh no, just survives. SU-85 is there. Come on, Panther, sticking around. He's also got marked vehicle on this. Katyusha in such a risky position, but SU-85 is there. Not on focus sight. And there's a Panther from the side. Arrives just in the nick of time. Johan going way too aggressive, and he gets punished hard for it. The second Panther arrives just in the nick of time. Remember, this is what I was talking about. No support weapons for Johan. He never bothered taking to tier 2. And he never got guards for the button, so he is defenseless against these two Panthers right here. And he just lost it all. Well, let that be a lesson to you. Even when your opponent is on the ropes, don't push into their base and just go suicidal like that. I guess maybe he didn't know about this tech structure, but probably should have had like an internal clock on how much fuel Guard2707 had. Should have known that this was possible, even if he hadn't scouted it. And yeah, it was just completely unnecessary to push into the base there. Lost his T-70 for free, which is a real shame. And then ended up losing when that second Panther arrived for support. Oh, back and forth game there. And Johan almost got back into it with that heavy mortar team wiping those squads, but just threw it all away there at the end. Well, I'll wrap on that, guys. If you like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.